Yo, yo, yo. I gotta turn my mic down just a slight bit. Okay, should be good there. Let me know if my stuff is fucking up. All right. What is up, everyone? I am super excited to read this new chapter of One Piece after last stream of having everyone on, which was so much fun. Um, I am cool to do one by myself just because I didn't know if I was gonna have a lot of time to actually get everyone together for this. But it just makes me really excited because I think probably 11:40 I'm gonna try and get more people on for next. So let us talk about um, my TikTok. So I started doing some more card openings. I have a new way of doing it, so I'm gonna start posting some of those on YouTube as well as posting them on TikTok. I figured out a good format, so now I just need to make sure everything it looks good on TikTok and stuff like that, and then transfer that over. Um, Also, make sure you're going in the Linktree and following me on all my socials. I posted TikTok and something on Instagram. It kind of popped off on Instagram. It was just some Marvel Rival footage that was really funny. So make sure to go check that out. But I am ready to rock and roll with this chapter. Um, so if you aren't if you're new here, right down here in the corner, I think I'm pointing at it. Is the chapter so you guys can follow along and let's get at this. Oh, hold on, I gotta tell these people that I'm live right now. Um, but yeah, super exciting. Um, to go live for this chapter. This chapter I heard is good. I haven't seen much on it yet, so I did get spoiled, but I it was a spoiler that I knew was happening this chapter, so it wasn't anything crazy. Um, so yeah, let us get into this chapter. All right, so we got One Piece chapter 1139 Mountain Eater. And the cover story here has who's who with the sword that was stolen, and then you see two people on the ground. And the way that they have horns makes me think that right here, like they have, I think this might be Alti in page one. The way that they look is kind of crazy here because right here to the left it looks like the hat thing that page one wears, and then the one on the other side the horns kind of match the way Alti's horns are because they like come out and then like that. So it says two rebels apprehended, so it very much looks like page one and Alti are here, which makes sense, right? There's going to be a ton of Beats Pirate stuff going on here. Um, and what does that say? Look at Chowdhury. Rizat Chowdhury says, "How are you doing?" I'm doing great. I'm super excited. I will say I'm gonna crash out though, just a tiny bit, just because. Fuck you, PlayStation Network. Oh my god, dude! I tried to play Marvels last night, and I was like so ready. And as soon as I went to get on, PlayStation Network was down, and it's been down all day. Apparently, it just came back up, and I've been fiending like a crackhead, just waiting to play Marvel Rivals all day. So, but I'm putting this stream above Marvel Rivals so I can knock that out. Once I knock out this, I'm going straight to Marvel Rivals, baby. I am gonna play Mr. Fantastic, and I'm going to kick someone's dick in just for fun. All right, that was my small crash out. All right, Oda's notes. I finally got to meet Suzuku Toshio after ages. That Ghibli vibe is so great. Interesting. That sounds like one of the animators or storyboarders that does Studio Ghibli movies. All right, let's go. So it says, at this rate, We'll still be looking after sundown. Just how big is this castle? And that was Zoro saying that. And it says the key hunt continues. And then Roto says these guards were no help either. Honestly, the only one who'd probably know where to find the key that we're looking for are a few of the graybeards like Elder Jarul. I know it's pronounced Yarul. I just think that Jarul sounds so much funnier. I'm gonna be honest. Just every time I think of like, what's my motherfucking name? Like Jarul. It says, "Oh, Sword Gramps. I wonder if he'd tell me if I asked." It says, "There's no way he would. Just trying to free Loki is a heinous crime." Zoro said, "We haven't decided if we're gonna let him go yet." And Luffy said, "You're no fun, Zoro." And Nami says, "Hey, over here. What is it?" And then Roto and he says, "A red carpet, the mark of nobility. Could that be the throne room?" Okay. We might be getting some info about Loki's innocence. I'm telling you, there's no way that he is the problem that these people think. I know it's King Harold is the evil one. And it says, "Pardon the intrusion." Wow, it's all smashed up. This rubble looks more recent. There's a hole in the ceiling. It says, "This is the throne room, all right. But I must say, what is the meaning of this mark? A mark where? Oh shit, so that mark is still there from the God's Knights. That's crazy. Because if anyone, probably not, because Luffy just doesn't pay that close attention, right? But there's a part of me that's like, he should know what this mark looks like, considering he was just fighting the Gorosei on Egghead, and that shit popped up instantaneously, and all of a sudden, all the Gorosei were there when Saturn summoned them all. So that's super interesting. And the fact that it's all smashed up like recently kind of lends to the fact that this was, excuse me, a mess that the God's Knights made. Luffy says, "I see it now. I've seen these in books before. It looks like a magic circle." "What's that?" "They apparently use them in rituals to summon demons in some countries." And that makes sense, right? Because when we saw, what the fuck was it? Those people on the island that Brook went to during the time skip, they had a summoning circle like this, but it just so happened that Brook was sent there and they thought that they summoned a demon lord, but it was really just Brook and he was just a corpse. So cool. It says, "Huh? Does that really work?" Beats me. "What's this thing doing here in the throne room? Yeah, I must say, it's creepy." It says, "I feel like I saw something like this recently." Exactly. Exactly. Exactly my point. He literally was just like, it feels like I've saw something like this recently. You just saw it on Egghead, bro. Fucking say something. It says, "Straw Hat Luffy." Huh? Who's there? Is it a demon? No way. Who said that? I must say, couldn't be a vengeful spirit, could it? It says, "I've been wanting to meet you." Stay calm. Stay calm. Who are you? Show yourself. A demon was summoned to the castle. The castle really is cursed. It says, "Let's get out of here before we're possessed." Wait, don't run, Roto. And it says, wait. Oh my God. And then you see the axe. I knew it. I knew it. And then it says, "Whoa, yeah, don't drop us." And then it says, "Ooh, thanks. Hey, there's someone on the throne. I must say, I'm terribly sorry, Namitaso. You're dead." It says, oh my God. It's him. It's the guy, the goat. Make sure that you're liking the stream, everyone. It is about to get good up in here. And it says, Sir, yeah, what are you doing here? And it says, human resident of Elbaf, ex-pirate Yasan. I felt a strange surge of hockey coming from here earlier. Looks like I missed whatever caused it, but I'm glad I found you all instead. I've heard the rumors about you, Straw Hat Luffy. They say you defeated Kaido. It's been ages since I've been to Wano. I'd love to go again. Yo, he looks so good, Scopper. I knew it. I knew Scopper was going to be here. Yo, what is up, Miguel? I am getting into it. Yo, Scopper looks so good. He has a mark on him though, which makes me think that I'll need to see more of him before I'm willing to say that this man might be the man marked by flames. Oh. It says, huh? Sir, yeah. Most people in Elbaf call him Yasan. Didn't you meet Miss Ripley when you went to school? He's her partner. Oh, he's the dad of that big pipsqueak. Big pipsqueak, huh? Yeah. Well, you ain't wrong. Yo, dude, Scopper's a fucking G. I'm so proud of him. Everyone was like, "Oh, what does he bring to the story? What does he bring to the story?" And it's like, of course he brings something. He's a Roger pirate. Like he's bringing something to the fucking table. Like he's got so much information about like all sorts of stuff that the Roger pirates go through. Even just the mural and everything. He could explain that so much more. He's got void century information. He's got everything. He's got a little bit of everything that we might need. You know, not to mention possibly even hockey training and a bunch of other stuff. So people are saying, like, what does he bring? He brings a lot. And it says, so you've already met Colin and Ripley. The boy's giant blood runs strong. He's always been too big for me to hold. Can you believe he's 20? And Ripley is 80 years old? She's even older than I am. Yo, that's so funny. He's 20. He's older than Luffy. And then says, marrying a giant doesn't make sense. Not if I'm the only one getting old. And Nami's like, no kidding. To think someone like you exists. And it says, love knows no bounds. Mixed race people have existed throughout history. Buccaneers. What is that? Dosundadass? Long neck, long leg, wotans. Such hybrids are rare and often struggle to thrive on their own, but in every era, there have always been those who are more flexible, if you know what I mean. Yo, this dude is literally making sex jokes, like literally. he's just like talking to these guys, like, yeah, you know, I've been a little. I'm cool with mixed races, bro. We kind of get it popping. And then Luffy's like, ah, and it says, you seem like an expert. Just who are you? And he says, I'm the mission. Wow, that's a weird way to say it. I'm the missionary of love. I bet Sanji ends up like him when he's older. That's what fucking Luffy said. Yo, I love this. This is amazing. That's so funny. He does sound like Sanji, which makes sense. He's the second, you know. He's like the third on the crew, you know. And it says, anyways, old dude, we're looking for the key to free Loki. And it says, I must say you shouldn't just blurt something like that out casually. Why would he know anyway? And he says, it's too late. It's like, forget I said that. Loki, huh? Interesting. Troublemakers, are ya? I love it. What an vindictive old dude. Just keep it to yourself, okay? Yo, this guy's so funny. I love Scopper so far. He's so great. I liked him when we saw him in the flashback. He was very funny, but it's getting even better. And it says, rumors were made to spread, Missy. You should have seen him being a pervert coming. Yeah, we should have. I mean, if he's anything like Sanji and he was like, "Yo, I love giant women," it makes the most sense. He's like, "I told you to quit it. Do you know what kind of man Loki is? What will you do if things go south?" It says, "Beat him to a pulp and lock him back up." It says, "The one who locked him up before was none other than Red Hair Shanks. Until that point, no one was able to stop him." And it says, "Do you know the kind of power Loki wields? If there's even a slight chance of him running amok, have you thought of how many casualties will hang on?" I love this. Luffy is just Luffying. Like he just is like, yeah, whatever, I just fucking roll the dice on it. Luffy is such a good judge of character. Like I fucking there's no doubt in my mind that he sees Loki as a good person, and it just makes sense. And it's like, well, the key's not going to find itself, and this old timer sounds like he's going to go on for a while. And he's like, hey, as like Zoro said, what a waste of time. It's like, guys, we should take warnings like this more seriously. And it says, my sincerest apologies, sir. Yeah, there. And then you see Gabon just like, huh? It says, I'm sick of all your warnings. You scared or what? That's not it. If you want to stop me, you'll have to use force. We're just pointing out the risks, Roger. You dumbass. Oh man. I love this. I love this whole flashback thing of him just being like, this guy, he's the guy. Like he's Roger's like will. Yeah. And Gavon says, hey Roto, give that throne a push. A push? What? Did you know there were two other monstrous fighters on the Pirates King's crew besides Roger? It wasn't just Rayleigh? That's right. One time when Captain Roger needed to recuperate, that man accompanied him to a hospital deep within the mountains. Unfortunately, enemy pirates surrounded the hospital, trying to capture them. But that one man, armed with nothing but his two axes, fought off hundreds of them all by himself. Oh man, I love this Gabon lore. This Gabon lore is so good. It says one man with just two axes. And that's not even the craziest part. When the battle was over, not a single tree was left standing. He stripped the entire mountain bare. And Lutop's like, what? That's next level deforestation. Yo, that's so cool. I wonder who else they're going to say. Because they were like, did you know there were two other monstrous fighters on pirate crews? Oh, I wonder, are they going to say that the other two people were Odin and Gabon? Or are they going to say somebody else besides for Gabon? I need to find out. It says that's how he got the name Mountain Eater. Everyone, and Jimmy says, everyone knows that tale. He rivaled Vice Captain Silver's Rayleigh and was known as the left hand of the Pirate King. And it says, oh shit, here we go. So then we come down here and we see the castle and it says, a hidden room? Is it the treasure chamber? I love you, Yasan. And it says, treasure, treasure. And it says, Sir Ya, how do you know about this place? And it says, I love to explore. And Luffy says, whoa. And Nami says, a treasure. And it says, a treasure chest room. Why is it just the chest? They're all emptied. It says, Gah, well, it used to be a treasure chamber. And Nami says, you liar. And he says, don't blame me. This is an abandoned castle. It's only natural thieves worm their way in at some point. And Gabon says, still, take a look at this. And says, oh, the key. Prize not even the thieves were willing to take. And Luffy says, yay. And he says, in other words, Even the bad guys don't want Loki freed. Do you still want it? And Luffy goes, huh? Says, what? You heard me. He's been living here in Elbaf for over 20 years now. And it says, no way. The living legend who stood shoulder to shoulder with Roger and Rayleigh, the Pirate King's left hand, Scopper Gaban. And it says, if you want it, you'll have to get past me. Oh, man. And it says, using the more accurate romanticization so that the nickname Yasan would feel more intuitive. It may also tie into his epithet, Yamagurai Mountain Eater. Oh man. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Luffy fighting Scopper Gaban is fucking chef's kiss, okay? Because it's like, listen, this is what I'm talking about when I say Oda is a fucking god and a fucking an amazing writer. Because if you look at this, right, Luffy's journey starts out with him wanting to be like Roger. Okay. And at the halfway point of his journey so far, we get Rayleigh's introduction and introducing them to hockey and training Luffy at a pivotal role in which he is being taught how to succeed in the new world. So it's like we get Roger in the beginning, we get Rayleigh halfway through, we get Gaban right before the end. This is the cornerstone of what is probably going to be the beginning of the end of One Piece. And this is it. We have the three pirate, like, you know, the three pirates that are most influential that were on Roger's crew and were Roger basically, and they have all helped Luffy and or done something that has ushered in a new basically way of Luffy thinking. We don't really know per se that Gaban is going to be that yet. Rayleigh was, Roger started the trend, and so now we need to see what Gaban brings to the table. But I have a good feeling that this is going to be amazing. The real question is, are we going to see Gaban use Conkers? 2, are we going to see Luffy use Gear 5th to fight him? So those are my big questions and my big takeaway. There is a break next week, which sucks, but we just went on a generational run of the last 4 chapters being absolutely insane. So I'm happy. I'm cool. I thought we were going to get a break before. Now I know we're going to get a break, and it's going to be crazy. Oh, excuse me. This is amazing. It really is. My curiosity is so peaked here, and I love this. So let's go through this one more time, and I'm going to give my rating. Okay. So the first part, the cover story, I'm glad that it's mounting into something. I think this is page 1 in Alti, and that's going to be cool. The first part of this, where we get introduced to the circle and the throne room and stuff like that, and Luffy being like, I feel like I've seen something like this recently. Very cool. Glad that we brought that up, and I'm glad that I brought it up right before I read it, that he should know what this is. Then we get the introduction of Gaban. He throws that axe, and that axe looks gigantic. So I'm wondering if Gaban has these just gigantic axes, because he has some pretty big axes in the like in the past, but these look even bigger, if I'm gonna be honest. Miguel says, yeah, finally this cover story leads to something. Yeah, and I know it was, and it's probably going to lead to something very interesting. just because I think that Yamato's probably going to band the actual Beast Pirates together. I mean, and maybe even sail out to sea with them. Who knows? Like we just aren't sure what this is going to lead to. But I know that it's going to be interesting seeing all the Beast Pirates and what has happened to them. Oh, Jesus. Mm. Staying up late watching that PSN screen fucking got me tweaked. Um, so yeah, I'm really interested to see that this cover story is finally going somewhere. Um, Scopper's introduction, very interesting. I want to see more from him, and I'm so glad that we are getting that. Um, and so I really like this, and I like that he's like, "Hey, say you defeated Kaido. It's been a while since I've been to Wano. I'd love to go again." And that might even be like a little subtle hint to foreshadowing to something. Um, so that's very interesting. And I just love that he's kind of a pervert and he's like, marrying a giant doesn't make sense, but love knows no bounds. You know, I think it's super interesting that this is happening. I also like that he was saying mixed race people have existed throughout history. Buccaneers and whatever Dosundatas are, long leg, long neck, wotans. And so these seem to be what he's naming is all hybrid races. So it's very interesting because they said that Buccaneers were an interesting race that has a very interesting blood composition and shit like that. So the fact that we are getting that confirmation, because they are like giants, but not like giants at the same time. So very interesting. The fact that he also said that those they're more flexible, if you know what I mean, kind of just making sex jokes, which is funny as hell. But then also on top of that, calling himself the missionary of love. And the fact that Luffy comments on this, basically being like, I bet Sanji ends up like this when he's older, is really funny, considering he would be the other arm of the Pirate King, similar. Miguel says, yeah, the other races he mentioned are interesting. He probably had to do research for Colin. Yeah, I agree. Um, and I like that he's like, oh man, you guys are troublemakers, huh? And the way that Luffy's like, oh, forget I said that. Like, and it's like, it's too late. Um, and the fact that Luffy's like, he's like, what do you do if things go south? And he's like, just beat him the fuck up, lock him back up, no big deal. It says, well, the last person who we needed red haired Shanks to take him down, basically. And then he was like, he was, until that point, no one was able to stop him. So very interesting. And then he starts like rambling on, and Luffy's just like, okay, well, this old timer's going to be a while. Super funny, hilarious, like just pure Luffy style. And the fact that it reminded Gabon of Roger is so great. I love that. I really do. I love every time we get a little shout out to Gabon, to Roger, to Rayleigh. It's just it's just a beautiful thing. I love the callbacks. The one thing that I'll this will be something I hope is solved with the official trans. It says, did you know there were two other monstrous fighters on the Pirate King's crew besides Roger? Now I wonder if it was that was them talking about Rayleigh and Gabon. Um, so very interesting, and I like that they was called Mountain Eater. Um, the fact, and I really like this, the fact that they say he rivaled Vice Captain Silver's Rayleigh, and was known as the left hand of the Pirate King. Very cool. I really like that because that really just shows that, you know, it wasn't just like, as everyone treats, I don't know, Gabon or Sanji as if they aren't going to have relevance much outside of like fights and stuff like that, or like not much outside of their plot progression of the story. But it's like, no, like they are also important. So I like that a lot. And I really love this point where um Gabon's like, hey, you want to take the key, you're gonna have to get past me. Hmm. Like, it's just so cool. I'm very interested to see how this plays out. What I will say though is his getup is reminding me that if you look back at one of the cover stories where someone in a kimono like type thing with a hat like this went to visit Crocus um on Reverse Mountain, we all thought it was Shiki. But this is looking like it wasn't Shiki. It might have just been Gabon talking to Crocus, which is an old friend because he was on the Roger Pirates too. So, very, very interesting. That was something that we had talked about forever ago, is that Shiki is this dude that went to visit Crocus, and he went and he had a drink with Whitebeard and all this other stuff, you know. It would be very interesting. I'm going to have to go back and look at those cover stories to see if it was Crocus or what looks to be possibly Gabon. So anyway, that was an amazing chapter. I loved every moment of it. It was just really cool, and it was a really funny chapter. It was like such a nice little reprieve from the gas that we have been getting as far as like the last three chapters. The Shamrock thing, the Cerberus thing, the God's Knights, this was just kind of fun, cool lore drop about Gabon and showing Gabon and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed this chapter. I'm not gonna lie. This to me was a very solid chapter. I would say this chapter to me is a 9, just because of how fun, funny, and great it was, and just like the little tidbits that we got. So I know that the last chapter I said it was like a 9.5 because of how I thought it was really good in development wise, but this one just seemed fun. This chapter to me just was a good time. So yeah, I would say 1139 is a 9 in my book. Like, Oda is just cooking with fucking gas. Uh and I just he's just turning up the fucking intensity every time. And you know what? He said it best himself. He's like, take a nice deep breath right now, because after this you won't be able to. And he has been firing off on all cylinders. And we finally get a break week next weekend, but then I feel like as soon as we get in there, it's going to be crazy again. Kevin 101 said Loki attains freedom next chapter. No, I don't think so. I think that Luffy fights Gabon for a little bit, but I think that probably the chapter after is when Loki will be freed. I don't see Luffy fighting Gabon and just being like a quick, you know, like he gets past him in Gear 5 or whatever. I don't even know if he goes Gear 5. Maybe he doesn't want to fight the old man. Maybe he just wants to make way past them. So it'll be very interesting. And who knows? I mean, it may take more than one chapter to get past Gabon if he's as good as Rayleigh and he's actually trying. So I don't know, man. This is getting pretty fucking nuts, but I'm here for it. I really am. Um, but yeah, this chapter is fantastic. Straight 9 out of 10. It was so good. I loved every moment of it. There were so many funny, you know, things, even like what next level deforestation, like they just it's really funny. And I know that probably some of the stuff is going to change per the translation, but this stuff to me super good. But this is again leading me to believe every time that Loki is innocent, King Harold was the bad person and all this. And I think that we will get more of that information once Loki's free. Um, but yeah, I'm enjoying this. This has been a hell of a ride. It's a 9 out of 10. Um, Please do me a favor, like the stream, subscribe if you're not, leave a comment, do all the good stuff. If you're in the TikTok live, please follow me and you like the stream on there as well. Um, and so I just can't thank you guys enough for always tuning in. Thank you to everyone that is in the chat right now and everyone that is in the TikTok. You have been so incredible listening to me rant, crash out, and talk shit. Also, PlayStation, you're on my shit list. Please make sure that that fucking shit never happens again. I will lose my mind. I need to play some Marvel Rivals, damn it. Fuck. But yeah, this has been an absolutely amazing chapter. Um, but make sure you're liking, subscribing, all the good stuff, and I will see you not next week because we got a break, but I will see you the week after. Jana.